guys, in this training, we're going to go over how to decide to start out mobile or do practice out of the gym or go straight to brick and mortar. So again, it really, as everything, it depends on what your goals are and what you're comfortable with. But I'm going to give you guys the pros and cons of each so you can make the best decision for yourselves. All right. So mobile, the pros with mobile is that you can start off very lean. All right. You really, again, you just need a treatment table and massage cream and whatever other minimal things you guys might need as well with that. So mobile is going to be more effective and allow you to start off with lower overhead because you're not having to pay rent elsewhere either. However, it is going to be very, in my opinion, the time isn't going to be super efficient because you are going to have driving time in between patients. So versus like a gym or brick and mortar, you can stack patients. Like if you're seeing patients for an hour, you aren't going to have gaps. You're going to be able to be more efficient versus if you're mobile, you're going to probably going to have at least and plan for a half hour in between each patient. And so over the course of a day, that can make a big difference. So if you want, like for example, like if you see 4 patients mobile, you're going to have at least 2 hours of drive time in between each patient and allow for that. So that's essentially, if you were in a gym or a brick and mortar, you could have seen 6 patients in the amount of time that you saw 4 in mobile. So it is going to be a little bit more inefficient that way. However, you can there is some convenience factor with that. So you might be able to feel more comfortable charging more for that. We do see sometimes people are able to charge a little bit more for mobile than gym and brick and mortar, but it's usually due to a mindset issue. In my opinion, you can charge just as much practicing within a gym or brick and mortar as you can with mobile. But a lot of times when people are just starting out, they have a hard time with the money mindset and what they charge. So they feel more comfortable charging more when they're doing mobile because they feel like they're adding more to the service because they're going to the patient. All right. So there's something to be said about that and the mindset that goes into that. Also, I don't think mobile is a great model to be able to scale in because of the inefficiencies, especially if you want to grow and bring on other physical therapists and other practitioners to that model. It's because you essentially have to also pay them for downtime that they're driving where they're not bringing in revenue. So it's really hard to grow that mobile practice, in my opinion, profitably in the same way that you can a gym or brick and mortar business. That is not to say that you can't grow and scale mobile practice. It's just gonna be a little bit more difficult and be profitable. It's just gonna be a little bit more difficult to be profitable and scale in the same way as if you had your own standalone place or were practicing within a gym that allowed for you to grow and scale within. Okay. So moving on, pros to the gym is it's going to be a little more efficient, like I said, compared to the mobile. You won't have to buy as much equipment as if you did like a brick and mortar because the gym should have a lot of the equipment that you already have. There's also something we said about being in the environment. You're going to be able to, if you do it right, be able to pull people from the gym and have them become new clients and new patients. With that, some cons to the gym aspect of things. You might run into a little bit more hiccups with gym owners and trainers referring to you. We haven't seen this be as big of a factor as we thought it was going to be, but you may run into some personal trainers or gym owners that don't want to refer to you because they know you practice within the competitor's gym. But again, that's not something that should prevent you a whole lot from practicing within a gym. Then there's brick and mortar. So brick and mortar, the great thing about the brick and mortar that has over the gym is you get to control the environment. You get to have complete control over the patient experience. What's the smell like? What's the music like? How loud is it? Right? How clean is it? You have complete control of that versus with the gym, you don't always have that. Okay? Especially CrossFit gyms can be kind of grungy at times and not as efficient. So big thing with looking for a gym space, you do want to have like ideally a private treatment room or a build out associated with that. You can, do like a curtain or something like that. But when looking for a space, I would encourage you to be looking for a private treatment room or built out treatment room that you can have some privacy for your patients as well. Okay? Going back to, got off a little bit sidetracked, but brick and mortar, to brick and mortar, it's going to take a little bit longer process to be able to allow you to see patients because you're going to have to find a space, you're going to have to build it out, buy equipment, install the equipment. So it's going to take a little bit more time to get the ball moving with being able to see patients start generating revenue. And like I said earlier on these trainings, is keeping overhead low is key to being able to grow, to start a practice, to start a business in general. And so starting a brick and mortar, it's a lot of overhead to start out with, and you're kind of climbing yourself out of that hole, but it will allow you to grow and scale and whatnot. So I'm a big proponent on starting within the gym. That's how I started. And that's how a few of my clinics and locations currently are still in that model of practicing within the gym because we've been able to grow and scale within it. But there are some drawbacks. Like I mentioned, we can't control the patient experience as much as we'd like. And so we are in the process of looking for a brick and mortar location. But with some of these gyms, you can grow and scale. Like the gym that we practice out in Oakland, we've been able to scale to over $2 million per year within this gym because they have 6 private treatment rooms. And it's more of a boutique setting. It's got the space. So there are some diamond in the rough setup that you can grow and scale within the gym, but it can be a lot easier with brick and mortar as well. Okay. So those are some of the pros and cons. Again, my recommendation would be starting with a gym, and that way it allows you to kind of figure out what area you want of the town or city that you're in that you want to be in, and kind of what the vibe is with all that before committing to a brick and mortar, because if you do brick and mortar, usually these leases can be 5 to 10 years and you're kind of locked into that. Okay. And especially if you're not sure if this is something you want to do, or if this is going to work for you, committing to 5 to 10 year lease might not play out. And with these gyms, you can a lot of times negotiate month to month rent with things. And that in one of these trainings, we'll be going over on how to negotiate rent. I believe it'll be the next training here after this, depending on how we organize this, but we will help you guys negotiate how to go about negotiating rent within a gym, and then also a little bit with the brick and mortar as well. But I really like the gym model because a lot of times you can negotiate month to month. Sometimes they want a year, but anyways, that's something to be said about the gym space and the pros over the brick and mortar. Okay. And then you can eventually, as you start getting more clients and stuff, then you can transfer into a brick and mortar where your rent overhead isn't so great. And we'll talk about, hey, what should you be spending on rent in this next training as well. So I'll see you guys over there.